This is the Anycubic Photon P1, the newest resin printer from Anycubic aside from its bigger brother, the P1 Max. And it might just be the best resin printer that Anycubic has ever made. With an integrated heated vat, machine steel build plate, monitoring camera, and many other features I'll be covering in this video. This P1 was provided to me by Anycubic, so as always, I will try to be as unbiased as possible. Anycubic have zero creative control over this video, and they were completely open to whatever video I decided to make for this printer, and I think that shows their confidence in the P1. So thank you to Anycubic for supporting my channel, and let's start by unboxing it. Unboxing and setting up the printer was really straightforward. It ships in a foam-lined cardboard box wrapped in a plastic bag, with cling wrap on the unit itself. First, remove the cling wrap from the lid. Then, take out the foam from the inside of the machine, which contains the build plate and accessory box. Next, plug in the power cord and turn the machine on to run the initial setup and to raise the Z-axis arm. Remove the foam pad from the vat, then peel off the protective plastic from the bottom of the vat and the LCD screen. Set the vat in place and latch it in on both sides. Lift the latch on the top of the Z-axis arm, slide the build plate into place, and secure the latch. Finally, fill the vat with resin and you're ready to print. The process from unboxing to first print took me around 30 minutes, but I was filming the entire time, so realistically, it would probably only take you about 10 or 15 minutes to get everything unboxed and up and running. The exterior shell body of the machine is a thick plastic. The bottom of the machine has thick rubber feet and grab handles on the sides and the back. On the back is a power outlet and a vent hole connection for Anycubic's Air Pure 2.0, which is a great add-on if you bundle it with this printer. It is not a replacement for PPE, but it can help remove resin odors and gases from your area, especially if you're in a small workspace or have bad airflow. The lid is a flip-open design that rotates all the way back. You can also remove the screws on the side to manually take the lid on and off if you have clearance or space issues. On the front of the machine is the 4.5-inch touchscreen with the side-mounted USB port. The UI on the touchscreen is very clean and easy to navigate. It has all of the features you would come to expect from a modern resin printer, and I would say is even a few notches above competitors. The interior of the P1 features a thick industrial-grade ball screw in between dual linear rails. The ball screw is supposed to help with wear tolerance and wear and tear on the motor. Anycubic claims this ball screw will significantly increase the motor's lifespan and will nearly eliminate the need for motor replacement. The print volume of the P1 is 223 by 126 by 230 millimeters. In the back left corner is the connection bay for the heated vat, and on the right side is the built-in monitoring camera. The monitoring camera has an amber light that won't affect the resin. The camera resolution isn't all that great if you're trying to make a time lapse, but I actually found myself constantly checking on prints from the mobile app, and it worked perfectly fine for that. On to the LCD screen, which is one of the key marketing buzzes around this machine. The P1 has a 14K 10.1-inch monochrome LCD with what Anycubic is calling wave release technology, which gives the screen a perforated or slightly bumpy surface. This bumpy surface helps reduce release forces compared to a traditional flat surface screen, so it basically helps to keep prints on the plate and your supports don't have to work as hard. The LCD screen sits on a spring system that uses assisted leveling when the print starts and constantly auto-adjusts the print speeds during a print. You can watch this in real time by switching the screen to the force value sensor. The P1 is very quiet. I didn't test the dB levels, but I actually had to check several times that it was still printing because it was so much quieter than my other machines. I have also read that the 14K screen is able to use a higher range of anti-aliasing. I don't know the technicals of this, but the prints did look buttery smooth with AA turned all the way up. The all-metal vat has an integrated resin heating system that heats up to 40°C or 104 degrees Fahrenheit. The vat latches in place similar to the Halid X1 I tested a few months ago. I love this design choice, and I really think this should be a standard moving forward on resin printers. The bottom frame of the vat has feet that raise it up a bit to protect the FEP sheet when you set it down on different surfaces. The vat can hold 1 liter of resin and has a generous sized pour spout that made it easy to pour unused resin back into the bottles. The vat also has a bracket on its inside edge to rest the build plate on to let the excess resin pour off. Just make sure you tilt the plate towards the center of the vat and not leaning out of the vat, or resin can drip onto the machine. The build plate is machined steel that is extremely flat and very heavy, like comically heavy. The weight actually threw me off a bit when removing the plate after the first few prints. Because the plate is so flat and has kind of a brushed finish, the adhesion to the prints was really good. The plate does have small holes that will show up on your prints if you're printing something directly on the plate. The top surface of the plate is flat and some resin will pool on it. This didn't really bother me that much, but it does make cleanup a bit trickier. Anycubic also provided me with the perforated build plate for thicker and more viscous resins, but I have not used it yet. The P1 can handle some more industrial resins with this perforated build plate. One of the biggest surprises for me when testing this printer wasn't with the printer itself, but with the slicer Photon Workshop actually being really good now. I remember it being kind of a mess a few years ago, but it has come a very, very long way since I last used it. It has a ton of built-in resin profiles for the P1, the UI is responsive, all the features worked, and the default auto support generation worked really well. The supports were super easy to remove and left almost zero support scarring on the prints. No support scarring, like at all. It is insane. I sent all my prints over Wi-Fi from the Photon Workshop and was very impressed with how well the ecosystem worked with the P1. I would happily use Photon Workshop as the default slicer for the P1. The default resin profiles worked great, but if you want to really dial in your settings, the printer has a built-in RERF exposure test that prints several test prints at the same time using different exposure values. This is a great way to get your resin super dialed in without running multiple exposure tests. It also prints a number next to each test so you know which one is which. It is a unique feature, but as the great Uncle Jesse suggested in his video of the P1, it would have been better to have the actual exposure value printout versus a number. Hopefully something Anycubic will implement in the future. So finally on to printing. For the main print I did on this machine, I used this incredible file from Berserk 3D of Michael Shannon's General Zod. I thought this would be a great test because several of the pieces used up the entire build volume of the P1. I printed all the pieces using the default resin profiles and it printed flawlessly. The details were extremely sharp and all of the tolerances were perfect, like perfect. There was no layer shifting, zero artifacting, and minimal support scarring on the model. Overall, I was very, very impressed with the print quality. So what are my final thoughts on the P1? If it sounds like I've been gushing about this machine the entire video, well, it's because I kind of have. I stand by my claim that this might be the best resin printer that Anycubic has ever made. Other than a few minor design quirks like the flat top build plate, Anycubic have really designed an incredible machine that has almost every feature that consumers have been asking for on a single platform. I think this machine sits easily in the top of its mid-range category and would be an amazing machine to upgrade to or to just start your resin printing journey on. If you're interested in checking out the P1, I will have affiliate links in the description of this video. Thank you as always for watching, and please like and subscribe for future content.